Have you ever felt just completely and utterly stuck? You're
Mhm.
standing in front of what should be your next move, maybe a career path that feels blocked or a really complex problem, and you just realize the door's locked.
It's that feeling of stagnation, a universal frustration, really.
Exactly.
We've all been trained to search for the solution, externally. We look for more data, another expert, a new book to read.
Sure.
But ancient wisdom, especially the more subtle esoteric dimensions, that's called laduni, it proposes a completely different approach.
Which is that the key isn't out there at all.
Not at all. It's internal. It's actually an integrated three-part formula made up of divine attributes.
And that is exactly what we're unpacking in this deep dive. This isn't just a list of names. We're talking about a sequential, powerful formula for really transforming the human heart and mind.
Right.
We've been looking at sources that analyze the Esma'ul Husna, the beautiful names, and also the practical side of things like secure and meditation and its deep connection to Ilm-i, Ladin, that hidden, pure wisdom.
And our mission here is to distill all of that into a practical roadmap for you. We're focusing on three specific names: Ya Fettah, Ya Alim, and Ya Hakim. The opener, the all-knowing, and the wise.
It's a spiritual architecture.
That's a great way to put it. It's a journey that flows in a very logical sequence. The whole process is, well, it's simple to say, but profound to follow. Asilish, the opening, which leads to bilgi, hidden knowledge, and finally to hikmet, which is wisdom.
I really like framing it as an architecture. It makes it feel hopeful, actionable. So if it's a journey, let's treat these three names as the steps we need to take to get to real insight.
And you have to start with the first key. It always has to begin with Ya Fettah, the opener. That is the absolute prerequisite.
So what does that opening really mean? We're not talking about like a physical door, are we?
No, not at all. On an esoteric level, Ya Fettah is about lifting the veils of truth. It's about opening the secrets that are already closed inside your own heart and your mind.
So it's for a learner, for someone trying to understand something.
Exactly. It's about dissolving mental blocks, spiritual log jams. Think about a time you were just staring at a problem.
A creative block.
Right. A creative block, a tough negotiation. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, the solution just appears. That moment of grace, that initial breakthrough. That's the energy of the opener at work.
So if I feel stagnant or I'm looking for inspiration, I start there. It sounds almost like preparing the vessel, making it ready to receive something.
That's precisely it. It prepares the soul.
Yeah.
It initiates that inner comprehension. You're basically saying, I am ready for a perspective beyond my current one.
Fettah gets the door ajar.
It creates the possibility.
Okay, so the door is open, the vessel is ready. What comes through that opening? I guess that brings us to the second key, Ya Alim, the all-knowing.
And this is where we shift from potential to actual received insight. Ya Alim is the very source of Ilm-i Ladun.
That hidden knowledge.
Yes, that specific absolute knowledge that's transferred directly to the soul, to the heart. It completely bypasses the logical step-by-step mind.
This is where it gets really fascinating for me. In our rational world, we rely on observable facts, on our intellect, our akal. But you're suggesting a different kind of knowing.
I am.
How can we even wrap our heads around Ilm-i Ladun today?
Well, think of it like this. It's the difference between knowing all the ingredients in a recipe and just knowing, without measuring, exactly how much salt to add.
Okay, I get that. Intuition.
It's deep comprehension through inspiration. It's the ability to look at something that seems random, a stock market crash, a personal failure, and immediately perceive the hidden wisdom behind it, the higher purpose.
So you're receiving knowledge not from external data, but from an internal source that sees the whole system.
Exactly. The intellect gathers facts, but the heart, once it's opened by Fettah, receives the insight of Alim.
I see. But that kind of hidden knowledge could be dangerous, couldn't it? If I suddenly think I have this absolute truth, how do I stop myself from becoming arrogant or misusing it?
That is the critical question.
And that must be where the final key, Ya Hakim, the wise, comes in to stabilize everything.
It has to. Without Ya Hakim, the knowledge from Ya Alim is just raw data. It could lead to a real imbalance. Ya Hakim is the manifestation of divine wisdom. It's the principle that lets you see the universal order and balance in everything.
Even in the painful things.
Especially in the painful things. It gives you the sense that everything is perfectly placed.
So hikmet, or wisdom, is what grounds and applies the knowledge. Can you give a practical example, like in a modern decision?
Sure. Let's say Ya Alim gives you the hidden knowledge that a business deal is going to fail in 6 months.
Okay.
Ya Hakim is what stops you from panicking or acting out of anger. Instead, it lets you use that knowledge to prepare a calm, ethical exit, one that sees the failure not as a loss, but as a necessary transition that's aligned with a higher purpose.
And for the person practicing this, it leads to sound judgment and what was the word?
A sukanet, deep tranquility in the heart.
It's a beautiful synthesis. The power is clearly in the flow. Opening, then knowledge, then wisdom. You can't just pick and choose.
No, it's a mandated sequence. Ya Fettah opens the block, Ya Fettah provides the intuitive knowledge, and Ya Hakim ensures you use it wisely. You can't skip a step.
So now that we have the architecture, how do we bring this into a normal, hectic life? The sources we looked at have a very structured daily rhythm. 21 repetitions of each name at certain times of the day.
It built a kind of spiritual momentum. It mirrors the day itself, dawn to dusk, opening, learning, and then integrating.
Let's start with the morning. That's the Ya Fettah phase.
Yes. At dawn, your intention, your niyat, is for new opportunities, for things to flow easily. But the deeper Laduni goal is to dissolve your inner locks, to prepare your heart to receive inspiration throughout the day.
You're planting the seed of openness.
Exactly.
Then, noon, middle of the day when everything's in full swing, that's for Ya Alim.
Right. This is the application phase. The intention here is for all the new information you're getting, from a meeting, a conversation, whatever, to settle deeply in your heart. You're asking for clarity, for comprehension of the hidden truth behind the day's events.
So you can move past the surface level stuff.
Yes. The anxieties and the noise.
And then finally, at night, when the day is winding down, the final stage, Ya Hakim.
At night, the intention is to reflect, to understand the day's events wisely. This is the integration. You're asking for the raw data of your experiences to be refined into wisdom.
To find that sukunet, that inner peace.
Exactly. To cultivate that tranquil acceptance that everything that happened for a reason.
It's such a profound daily cycle of seeking, receiving, and integrating. And the sources share this powerful prayer that summarizes it. Something like, the doors you open won't close, the knowledge you teach won't cease.
The wisdom you grant shall not falter. It's an assertion that the change is permanent. It's not temporary.
But sometimes just reciting words can feel a bit mechanical.
It can.
For someone who wants to really internalize this, the sources get into methods that use the body and the imagination. Let's talk about visualization and breath work.
The main technique is called nefes la zikir, or breath meditation. It links the names to your breathing, the most fundamental process to really deepen the experience.
So you focus on the heart and you pair the syllables with the breath. For the opening, for Ya Fettah, you would inhale Ya.
And exhale Fettah. And it's not just breathing, you're visualizing. For Fettah, you visualize your heart literally expanding, feeling any tightness just dissolve. Doors swinging open.
And for Ya Alim.
You inhale Ya, exhale Alim, and you visualize a bright, clear light filling your heart. That light is knowledge being born right inside you.
And then for the balance of Ya Hakim, you inhale Ya, exhale Hakim, and the feeling is?
The feeling is immediate. A sense of deep inner tranquility. Balance. You're anchoring the spiritual state physically with your breath.
But the most powerful method you mentioned was the 3 gates visualization.
Yes. This makes the whole sequence a concrete story happening right inside your heart.
So walk us through that. We start by focusing and visualizing the first gate, the gate of opening, Ya Fettah.
You see a large, bright door in the center of your heart. As you repeat the name, this door opens, and a gentle rush of light pours out. The light of ease and peace. It signals your readiness.
And then right behind it, you see the second gate, the gate of hidden knowledge, Ya Alim.
As you continue, that second door opens, and it radiates a more powerful light. The light of inspiration, of deep comprehension, of idrak. This is where Ilm-i is perceived.
And finally, behind that flood of insight, the third gate, balance, Ya Hakim.
This door opens last. It radiates a settling light, the light of Sukhnet, that profound tranquility and perfect balance. It confirms that the knowledge is being used wisely.
And the final vision.
The final vision is all 3 gates remain open, and their lights merge into one central nur, a brilliant inner grace.
This whole synthesis, it connects directly to the foundational esoteric story that underpins everything we've been talking about.
It does.
If we step back, we arrive at the Sufi understanding of Khidr and Ilm-i.
Absolutely. Khidri is the ultimate carrier of this hidden wisdom. The story of Moses and Khidr from Surah Al-Kahf isn't just a story. It's an allegory for this entire 3-stage process.
Right. Musa represented the Zahiri, the outward legalistic knowledge, what you can see and prove.
And Khidr represented the Batini, the inner hidden wisdom, Musa's framework was just not enough to understand what was happening.
Which is why the journey had to start with Ya Fettah. Musa had a locked door in his own understanding, even as a prophet. He needed his heart open to accept a perspective that went beyond his rational knowledge. He had to become humble.
hmm And then, as Khidr did things that looked, well, they looked wrong. Sinking a boat, killing a child.
Ya Alim revealed the hidden truths. That the boat was sunk to save it from a tyrant. The child was killed to prevent future cruelty to his parents.
And crucially, that revelation wasn't reasoned out. It was received. And finally, Ya Hakim showed the ultimate wisdom. Khidr's actions weren't driven by malice, but by a perfect balance aligned to the higher divine order. He was acting with absolute hikmet.
So these three names, Ya Fettah, Ya Alim, Ya Hakim, they are seen as the doors to Khidr's secret, really. They prepare the heart to receive that kind of knowledge.
It all comes back to the core message. True wisdom doesn't come from the intellect, the akal alone. It can only gather facts. It comes from the continuous process of opening, filling, and balancing the heart, the kelp.
This has been an incredible deep dive into a remarkably sophisticated ancient roadmap.
It is.
It takes us from seeking the key with Fettah to receiving hidden knowledge with Alim and then applying it with the tranquility of Hakim. It's a lifelong, active process.
And the sources are very clear. Wisdom is not an endpoint. It's a sacred path you have to renew every single day. It's a practice of humility.
So if this process is the roadmap to inner clarity and sound judgment in your own life, we have to leave you with this question. What current locked door, what persistent confusion are you holding on to right now that you might be willing to approach not with more analysis, but with the humility to seek that hidden wisdom, that Ilm-i from within?
The door is always waiting.
Until the next deep dive, keep learning, keep opening, and may profound hikmet guide your way.